everybody, welcome to my channel and to today's video. So I got a fun one for you guys today. So I was watching Patty Alonso's 2024 palette ranking last night, and her video inspired me to pull specific kinds of palettes out of my collection. Namely palettes that have approachable color. I heard Patty say this a couple of times in her video, approachable or wearable color, and I thought it was interesting because I know me myself. I love every color. I love neutrals, I love brights, I love pastels, I love deep shades. I love every color. Literally love every color. So with that being said, I pulled out 10 palettes in my collection that I feel embody wearable color or color that is perfect for somebody who is getting into color. They're not quite sure where they want to begin, but they want something that's easy and isn't very complicated, doesn't seem ultra intimidating. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So before I introduce myself, well, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Amy, and this is Dolly Mama Beauty. If you're new here, I love to film eyeshadow palette content, and I also enjoy talking about indie makeup, and I enjoy talking about affordable beauty as well. So I'm always on the hunt for a good bargain. I'm always on the hunt for a sale. I do not buy all the new. I do not have PR. So I am a little bit more picky and choosy, and I do use a lot of older things in my collection, some of which is discontinued. Now I guarantee you none of these palettes here are discontinued. I made sure that I was going to put palettes in this video for the new colorful makeup wearer. In other words, somebody who feels like ready to branch out a little bit outside of the neutral zone and into the colorful realm. So I'm glad to have you here today for this video. I hope you'll like it and that you'll also subscribe and hit the notification bell. Do all three. I can speak today. At the same time, join the D&B crew today. We're a small but mighty crew here on YouTube, and we would like to grow. I have had a few new subscribers recently, so welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are going to stick around, and if you're new, please subscribe. I would love to have you be part of the D&B crew today. Now, before I start talking about these palettes, I have a disclaimer to make. Now, if you saw my last video, you saw me talking about 5 eyeshadow brands or 5 indie brands that I wanted to try in 2025. One of those brands was Ensley Rain Cosmetics. Now, I'm talking about this now because I was not aware of the controversy surrounding Ensley Rain at the time that I made that video. Like, I really was kind of in my own world, and I'm not on social media all the time, so I missed kind of this controversy, which largely centers around one of two things: the AI that they used to create their palette art, or B, there was a transphobic incident with the brand. Now, I do not know anything about this. I have not researched it. I do know that a couple of my friends here on YouTube are no longer supporting the brand. Now, I do not know myself what all of this is about. All I can know is that it did involve hurting the LGBTQIA+ community, not a community of which I'm part of, but I still support everyone, and I still love everyone, regardless of their station in life, regardless of their politics, regardless of their views. I like to embrace everybody, and I want everybody to feel welcome here. So if you have any insight into this situation and you want to share your feelings with me, please feel free to email me or leave me a comment down below about Ensley Rain so I can become better informed of this brand. Kathleen Martell, thank you Kathleen Martell, my subscriber, for pointing this out to me. I did do a little bit of research before creating this video, but I do want to say that I don't want to be a person that supports somebody that hurts other people or hurts another community. Also, at the same time, I don't want to completely disqualify a brand from making the opportunity or taking the time to learn from their mistake and change. So I am not going to say that I'm going to buy Ensley Rain. I'm just saying that I'm going to be watching the brand and learning more about the brand and their history, and about things that that have been said about the brand, and if I can substantiate all of these claims, then I will probably reassess supporting the brand. Not because they're not a great brand or they don't produce beautiful eyeshadow palettes. I still want to try them, but I do need to pay attention and be aware of where brands stand and what brands are doing, because if I don't, then I am not informed, and I don't want anybody to be hurt or offended by anything that I do on my channel, because my goal in life is to make everybody feel special. Every single person feels special. I love everyone. Now, I'm saying this as somebody who is, you know, not in the community, but I love people in the community. I have people in the community in my life that I cherish and love. And we all need to treat others as we would like to be treated. We all need to love one another as Jesus has loved us. We are all created by their Creator. So that being said, I'm not going to digress on that anymore, but I need to make that disclaimer because I don't want anyone to think that I am anti, you know, the LGBTQIA plus. I probably forgot a letter there. I'm not sure. But community, I'm not against them. I will never be against anybody. But I don't know the full story. So let's get on with this. I did rank these, okay? So I have 10 palettes here. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be calling this video yet, but I will say this. I know that you'll see a lot of themes here, or you'll see a lot of color stories that are either similar, or the tones of the colors that I'm going to be suggesting to you are going to be similar. And I really do feel, as I go through them, you'll understand why I picked these palettes. Now, all of these palettes I know, I'm pretty sure are still available. I think this first one's still available. Not 100% sure. But, okay, so coming in at number 10, I'm not the biggest fan of Natasha Denona. You all know that. If you've watched my palette ranking video, you'll know that this is ranked dead last at the bottom of my palettes for 2024, even though I really like it and I still use it. This is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. It's a beautiful color story. What I like about this is this has its neutrals with greens, but it's yellows and peachy tones with mustardy green, with mustardy yellows. And to me, take out the greens. These greens are a little bit much for a new color wearer. But if you don't use those and you use every other shade in the palette, I think you'll find that this is a very approachable, colorful palette. Now, a lot of people will say this is a neutral palette. To me, if you're not familiar with neutral palettes and colorful palettes, you're gonna look at this and say, that's too colorful for me. Well, I get it. But if you look at the tones of the shades, minus these two greens, this kind of teal and this kind of hunter green, you will see that it's much more approachable if you just take out those two colors. Now, if you're kind of inclined to wearing green, or you want to experiment with those colors, then you have them here. But what I'm saying is that you'll notice that I have palettes that have lots of like orange tones or yellow tones, in addition to maybe purples and some greens. So you'll see those colors represented throughout this video. So this is the Yucca palette. This is number 10. I believe this is a very approachable color. You do have this kind of yellowy green up here, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shade. I do really like the colors in this palette, and I do like how this performs. I just am not a fan of the cream to matte formula. That being said, that's number 10, but I still highly recommend it. Okay, number 9 is going to go to the ABH Cosmos Palette. Now, this is a completely different color story, much cooler, much more neutral, far less warm, okay? So you've got 5 mattes in here, but if you look, this is not a black, it's like a deep eggplant. This is like a mauve-y, purpley shade. Then you have these 2 browns, one of them is more peachy, one of them is more warm, and then this kind of tan color. The shimmers, though, are all relatively colorful. You've got this kind of golden blue, pink, purpley pink, another like slate blue, this beautiful dark blue. So here's what I'm going with this, okay? I think that the mattes in here because they are not overly bright and they're still a little bit colorful, they're neutral enough to not look severe on the eyes for somebody who's not used to wearing color. And the shimmers in here, some of them are more neutral, some of them are pinky. You'll find pink in, you know, golden tones. Pink and golden tones are very, very easy to pull off, you know, with some of these browns and stuff. This was one of my favorite ABH palettes ever. I really, really enjoy this. If I had the Nouveau, I would have mentioned the Nouveau instead of this one, because I think that that's a really pretty color story as well. But what I'm saying is, you know, tones like this purple, they're just so soft and elegant on the eyes. And if you just use that in the outer corner and then use this like peachy tone to blend it out, it really isn't an overly in-your-face colorful look. And you know, even you can use any of the shimmers. Any of the shimmers will complement those two shades. And you have a nice neutral-ish but colorful look that is approachable and not intimidating. There you go, that's number 9. Okay, we're moving on. Number 8. Oh, this show. I miss the days of good Star Wars. I do. I'm praying that they will just chill for a little while and like regroup, because man alive, I tell you, this is the Child palette. The Child is Grogu from The Mandalorian. The 3rd season, no bueno. But the first couple of seasons, and oh my gosh, wonderful. Green, these nice, pretty, sagey greens. Gorgeous with the brown row, this golden tone up here. So you've got 5 greens in here. These greens are so gently, they're not bright. They're very, very, very wearable and very soft on the eyes, to the point where you could do an all green look, but you're not gonna feel weird wearing it, if that makes sense. So like, say for instance, this particular shade, oh, this palette's still so good. Their collabs are really, really good. This is that dark green. Let me swatch it again. This is that dark green right here. Do you see what I mean? It's just nice and mossy. It's not bright. It's very, very elegant, but not overly bright, and it's just a much more approachable shade of green than like green. Like, take the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. Those are bright greens. These are more sagey, soft greens, and it's just absolutely stunning. And I mean, you have this brown to ground everything out. So if you just wanted to do like brown with a little bit of this on the inner portion of the eye, and put any one of these neutrally shimmers, you will have a pop of green on your eye, and it will look so beautiful. It will look effortless, and it will not look overwhelming, and it will not be intimidating. And you will feel pretty, but you won't feel like, oh my gosh, I look like a clown. Okay, so there's the Child. Okay, that's number 8. Number 7 is one of my absolute favorite palettes in my collection. I have had this for forever at this point, and for a long time. It was the palette in my collection, my go-to workhorse palette. This is the Nabla Secret palette. Now, I know a lot of you are like, that is an old palette. It is, but oh my gosh, you guys, this palette is so good. Now, blue is not a really approachable shade for somebody who's beginning with color. But if you just take those blues out and you focus on these rosier tones and then these golden tones down here, and even this mauvey, like this mauvey brown over here, holy moly. You guys, the pink is very, very easy to wear with brown. It just goes. It just is something that adds a little extra pop to the brown, so it just doesn't look like a brown look. These blues are beautiful. There are tons of formulas in here. There's like 5 different formulas in here. There's satins, mattes, shimmers, there's a topper, there's, I think there's like 4 formulas in here. I love this palette, and I don't know what happened to Nabla, but I'm telling you, like, I mean, just look at this pink. It's a beautiful transition shade, and it's so pretty. Look at that. If you just wore that in the crease and you even just put a little bit of gold on the lid with a little bit of a brown maybe in the outer corner, you know, any one of these browns. This is a beautiful one and done shadow. That is a rosy kind of mauvey brownish shade. It is stunning. And I'm not a fan of satins, but I will use them for this palette. This is a great palette. And I think it's, without the blues in it, if you just, you know, work your way into the blues, I think eventually you'll find yourself really enjoying that palette. So it is an older palette though. Number 6 goes to the Heather Austin Adept Cosmetics palette. Now this one is a glam palette. Okay. Now this one is colorful, but the mattes in here, especially these three, this one, and this one, super approachable. The green, not so much, but it is very pretty. If you just did a tiny bit of this green in the outer corner with this, you know, and a blended mythology over the top of it, or even if you did a 2 shadow look using either one of these shades with any of these shimmers, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm telling you when I tell you, these shimmers are stunning. One of my favorite ones is Passport. And I love them all, but I really love Adept. I just wish they weren't so expensive. So here's Passport, and it's this beautiful, like purpley, toppery shade. Oh, so pretty. And it is a duochrome. It's like a purple pink duochrome. It's so good. Kind of an iridescent topper shade. I love it. This palette is great. It is a little bit out of the box for a newbie, but if you just wanted some beautiful shimmers with a few neutral mattes in here, the green is not a super neutral color, but the other ones really are, and then you just kind of have that pop with the shimmers. Okay, number 5. Now this is the palette for the cool tone peeps in the video. This is the palette. This one is a little bit kind of like the Cosmos, but it's much prettier. This is the Jewels and Gems from Oden's Eye. I love this palette. Now, like I said before, blue is not easy to pull off for somebody that's new to color, but these kinds of blues that are a little bit desaturated, kind of almost murky and cloudy, like storm cloud blues or blues with a hint of gray, that can really go perfectly with these pinks and mauves. You have some neutral tones in here, and you have these purple tones with these pinks. I know you have the blue tones in here too, but trust me when I tell you this is the kind of blue you want to start with. Something that's a little bit more toned down, not bright, but it's almost frosty and like wintry. And I think you will really find yourself kind of impressed with this color story. To say that is an understatement, but this is a beautiful, beautiful purple. It's a very, very soft purple, and I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. I love using this palette. I love using it with the neutrals. I love using it with all the other colors. I have these beautiful neutrals right here. This is a workhorse. I love this so much, but I think this is super approachable. If you want to try blue, something like this, or the Nomad Ghost Town USA, I think is another good bet for blue. I just like those deep blues that are not bright or powdery or baby blue or anything like that, because sometimes that can just feel like a little too much or too overwhelming. Number 4 is going to go to the Blend Bunny Cosmetics All Done Up palette. This is one of my absolute favorites from the brand. I love this. The Glaminatrix Barely Basic was very similar to this, and I like that Glaminatrix is doing those palettes the way that they're doing them now. They had 2. They had a pastel one, and then they had the neutral basic one. This is kind of similar to that if you have that. These shimmers are my favorite shimmers Blend Bunny has ever done, by far. Love the deep mattes, love these midtones and these pastels. You have yellow, peach, green, and then you have this purpley gray, and you have this olivey shade over here. This is stunning. This is so much fun to use, and it is absolutely effortless, and you will get a beautiful look every time. The green might look a little intimidating, but trust me when I tell you this, these are the most beautiful greens you will ever see, and it's absolutely stunning. So that, my friends, is number 4, which is the Blend Bunny All Done Up palette. Number 3 goes to the Muse palette. from Cosmic Brushes. Now, if I have the Neutrals palette, oh my gosh, that would have been probably #1 in this video, but I did not get that palette this year. So this is the Muse palette. I am obsessed with this. This kind of, like I said, has those, this has some brighter greens, but look at the mustards, look at the neutral tones, and look at the pinks and purples. These shades up here, even this mint shade, these purples over here. This seems overly colorful, but you have enough neutral in here. And I think for me, the one thing about palettes that I feel are colorful and neutral, they are the most approachable ones for somebody who is not used to color. Because to me, mixing color with the neutrals is what makes wearing color so much easier for most people. Like if you just got a full-on colorful palette with no neutrals in it, you would be like completely lost if you were new to color. I love this. This is absolutely stunning. I love dark shades. I love this one right here. I love the purple next to it. Absolutely gorgeous. Cannot recommend this brand enough. I love the Muse palette. Love the Muse palette. That is #3. #2, friends, this is the palette that I have in my eyes. Probably, this was one of my favorite palettes of the year. Hands down, no question. Almost dropped it. Oh my God. The Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't express to you how much I love this palette. Never in a million years did I see this coming. And I am blown away by this. Blown away. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyes. One of my favorite color combinations to do on my eyes is purple and brown. These browns are very warm. These purples are very cool, but I did it. So I have this in my outer corner, this blending it out. I have this in the inner part of my crease and this on my lid. And this, this is kind of blending these two shades together. And I can't. And then I have this beautiful shade on my lid. This greenish, periwinkle shift. Oh my God. It's like a green gray. It's the most beautiful shade. This is what I'm talking about when I say approachable color. Look at these neutrals over here. You do have a kind of a reddish tone. You have all of these duochromes. You have the browns in here and then these gorgeous, 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 soft, soft, soft purple, soft cool tone purples. I can't. This is one of my favorite palettes ever. I was even shocked when I made that conclusion. Because to me, I prefer colorful, more color in my palettes than neutrals, but this is to me is the best of both worlds. I even have a pop of green in here. It's amazing. Perfect, this is the perfect kind of purple tone for a new color wearer. These are the greatest duochromes ever. I mean, they really are beautiful. And I just can't even tell you. I have like 4 deep mattes in here. Who could ask for anything more? The Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. Perfect, approachable color palette. My #1. Whew, man. Still to this day, one of my absolute favorite palettes in my collection. My favorite green-brown or green-neutral palette is the Druid palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Their first one was their best one. They've never come close. I don't care what anybody says about that Harvest of Souls palette. I don't have it. I didn't want it. I know, I'm in the minority on that one. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But their 9-pan palettes are my absolute favorite. And this color story was this was the first one they ever did. And holy crap. If this is not the most beautiful color story with the rich kind of burgundy, brownish burgundy, this pinky, all these duochromes, these two greens, this green in the middle, that's, oh my God, it's heavenly. It's absolutely heavenly, and it is so approachable for a new color wearer. The greens go perfectly with these other tones in here, and these duochromes will just blow your mind. They will blow your mind. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. I gotta swatch another one. The one above it, which is called Balance. Oh my God, Lord. This one is Oh, it's like a purpley green. Stop the madness, really. And then one of the mattes, I'm gonna do the green, the deep green. Stop it. This is my favorite colorful / neutral palette. Yes, it is colorful. Yes, it is greens, but with the browns, there's nothing better to me than greens and browns. Greens and browns go together. They just do. It's just a beautiful, earthy vibe, and I'm here for it. This is the Druid palette, my #1 palette for approachable color for a new color wearer. So, my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video, okay? If you have made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to leave me a bear, because I love World of Warcraft and I was a druid and I loved bear form. I liked stealth cat form even more, but bear form, that's pretty bitchin'. So leave me a bear, a brown bear emoji, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, okay? So which palettes do you feel like, are you a neutral palette person? Or are you a colorful person, or are you a mixture of the two? Which colors do you feel are the easiest for people when they start wearing color? For me, it's purples, pinks, greens, and yellows. Certain kinds of greens though, not bright greens, but certain kinds of greens are perfect for new color wears. I absolutely love y'all very, very much, and I'm gonna say, Borhe finger hearts, I purple you, you're awesome and amazing. I want you all to take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. But remember, you got to be kind to other people too. That's very, very important. You got to have a full cup, and you've got to be totally good to others. Like, let that cup overflow. Make someone's day. Compliment them. Do a good deed. Pay it forward. You know, because life's tough, man. I mean, there are a lot of people having a hard week. I know that there are a lot of people having a hard week. I know, I get it. And I know some of y'all are hurting, but you know what? I love you and I'm here for you. So, you know, don't hesitate to shoot me a message, and you can get in touch with me. If you need somebody to talk to, if you need a friend, I'm here for you, okay? So remember, love others as Jesus has loved you, treat others as you would like to be treated. And I am going to leave you now by saying, God bless y'all. And may the force be with you. And that is all she wrote, peeps. All right, I will see you in my next video. Take care, TTFN. Bye.